Nice. Yeah, so far so good. And you are pretty quick as well. So, yeah, I think that's what I was seeing in the replays as well. Oh, shift sometimes doesn't work, it feels like. Yeah, it's fine. There we go. Nice. And let's just make sure to get a second sheep underneath as well. Yeah, I sometimes do that as well. It's like you want to scout with all three, but then, I don't know. You have to make sure that there's another scout or another sheep underneath. And good scouting so far. Yeah, just shift queuing kind of in a circle around your base. And as Mongols, you will find everything. So, yeah. Okay, nice. And you can stack the sheep. So here, let's make a quick pause. Do you know how to stack the sheep underneath? I think you were doing that before, right? Yeah, okay, that's good.
No.
Or
Yeah.
no?
No.
Basically, like, just select all of your villagers and the new sheep, and then just right-click the dead sheep, and it will actually stack. So, yeah, I'll just do it.
The next is the next job, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm doing that.
Yeah, perfect. Just so that your villagers don't need to move at all. It's just a small efficiency saving to do that.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah, so far good, so good. It's kind of unfortunate that the house blocks the lumber camp a little bit, but it's not a big deal. Yeah, it just happens. Okay, nice. And once you find the other sheep, we're actually just gonna leave the scout. Oh, what happened with this ville? Oh, you're gonna bring in the boar. Okay, I see. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah. There we go. Nice. Okay, alright. Now you can just put the scout on auto scout for now. And we won't focus on that. We're gonna just focus on the build order. Perfect. Beautiful. Nice. And keeping the TC running. That's good. And I like to put all of the sheep kind of off to one side. Like, I like to just get them kind of behind the TC. Just so that the enemy can't steal them. So it's just good to just, like, put them like this. There we go. And so, yeah, we're gonna need houses at some point. Yeah, Mongols bring in the hunt super fast, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, next build definitely should build houses. You can get houses up by the berries. That's kind of where I would build them. Because the berries are forward, so. Yeah, just as some kind of wall.
Put right here.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. Something that you can use to wall. There we go. Nice. And yeah, the second board doesn't need to be directly under the TC. Don't feel like it's a big mistake to get it outside the TC, because you're not really force dropping it anyways, so it doesn't really matter. And
okay.
Yeah. Perfect. In the middle. Very good. Nice. And yeah, so far so good. I mean, there's not even too much to criticize here in the early game. That's great. And yeah, so next fills. Okay, good. And you have that shift queued to there. Okay. And of course you can, yeah, you're just gonna double sheep and then you'll be able to get up super fast. Not necessarily the greatest idea to go up super fast here, but yeah, let's keep stuff queued. Perfect. Yeah, even 19. As Mongols, that's still gonna be really fast, but then also you still have a decent economy.
Yeah, we can do even 18, right? But
oh yeah.
Is the best.
Yeah, at high level, actually, Mongols does like 16. But, yeah, it's kind of unnecessary here. Okay, so, here, I'm gonna make just a quick pause here. So we already have enough food to go up. So, basically, the time to send to wood is around when you're gonna have enough food once loom completes. So we already have over 500 food if you force dropped here. So we want to be sending to wood to basically at any time. Like you could be sending to wood pretty much right now. So yeah, the way that I do it,
we have 500, we send into the wood.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we basically want to get up to 7 on wood here, or 9 on 2 lumber camps could be good as well. Basically 7 on 1 camp, 9 on 2 camps, and well, this map's kind of hard to defend a second camp. Like if the opponent went men at arms, you'd have to resource wall, so aka making some smaller palisade walls to protect your vills. We can just stick on 1 lumber camp for now, and that's gonna be fine. But yeah, we want to get to 7 on wood there, so It's just
Oh,
as easy as just sending the vills from the sheep. And yeah, so you can garrison. Basically, what I'd do is I'd garrison 5 villagers and then send them there, because then they drop all of their meat and then they just teleport outside of the TC as well. So it's just going to be more efficient to
okay.
use a garrison macro. So yeah, you can unpause whenever you're ready, just using F3.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, super quick. There we go. Unfortunately, we have like 3 pigs on the go, but it happens. Yeah. Perfect. And there's no opponent, so what we're just going to be doing, we are going to be making 3 scouts and just trying to do feudal macro, just basically making farms. And we're not even going to worry about walling here. So we want to fix the berries, well, a little bit. You have 1 vill on one side and then 4 vills on one side. So you want to at least have 2 on one side, because if the enemy gets to feudal age, his scout will kill a single vill. So you just want to make sure that you don't lose any vills here.
Yes, no. Okay. Yeah, not moving. What? Okay.
Oh yeah, the mill is a little bit weirdly placed, but that's just because the hill makes the bushes look weird. Yeah, the shape of the berries is kind of awkward to place a good mill. Yeah, so the villagers underneath the TC, you want to just get them on stragglers for now. It's gonna be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we did find all of the stuff. It's just Mongols take stuff really fast. Yeah. We definitely found all of the sheep. There we go.
Yeah, we found all.
Yeah, just stick it all. And I like to have 1 villager queued behind feudal age as well, just so that you don't forget it. And then, because once you're up, you want to be basically making the stable, and you want to use 2 vills for the stable, which you know. Very good. And you can get all of the upgrades too. Stable first, and then double bit horse collar. Yep, double bit horse collar, and now we can start adding farms. So horse collar takes 20 seconds to come in, and farms take 15. So you have to like wait 5 seconds after clicking horse collar to start your farms. But every 60 wood, we're gonna be making a farm, and we can queue scouts here, but make sure to have enough for vills though. So we don't want to over queue scouts and then not have enough for vills. So yeah, you can cancel that, and then there we go, perfect. Great. And we can make another house or another farm here, and you could make, you could probably queue another scout. Yeah, pretty much when you can. But the key here is every 60 wood, you add a farm. Exactly, and that's what the straggler tree vills are for. There we go. Nice. I'd probably queue a vill here, and then no. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, it's super close. There you go, and another farm. Nice. And yeah, you could probably sneak in a scout there. That's good. And then another farm. And then a vill. Yep. And another farm. Every 60 wood. There we go. Beautiful. And we're really simplifying feudal age. Obviously, you don't really have to do too much when there's no opponent. But yeah. But this is really the fundamental thing that kind of goes on in the background. And we can get a house going as well. And yeah, so you'd want to be probably walling as well. If you haven't walled yet, you'd want to be walling at this point, so you have your scouts to kind of protect your villagers if the opponent went scouts as well. So yeah, just start walling like palisade walls. Just kind of connecting here, maybe even to the edge here. Connect this, and then like just maybe to the stone, something like those.
Like here.
Yeah.
Like
so,
this?
Yeah. Let's keep the TC running, though. There we go. Perfect.
Okay.
And yeah, you can just keep adding farms. It's about time to go to gold soon. Yeah. You could get probably up to like 14, 15 farms and then go to gold, and it would be perfect.
Okay.
There we go. And we won't need any more scouts here. So this will be all the scouts that we make. You can make more, but it really depends on what the opponent's doing. You might need an archery range. At your level here, you probably don't need to. And I would recommend going up a little bit later as well, because we couldn't really afford that many scouts. going up that early. So yeah, you're up early, but then you don't have that many scouts, so it's not really worth it all the time. And let's try not to forget the house, so let's quickly make a house. And if you forget the house here, like we're late on the house, that means we should just get wheelbarrow here. It's gonna be completely fine because you have 15 farms. 15 farms is kind of the earliest you want to get wheelbarrow, but you will be housed if you just make this next fill. So yeah, this is where I would have probably queued wheel, but I mean the house is coming up, so now I would just make the bill. It's probably okay. And the other thing that is easy to forget is the blacksmith. So that's sort of the next thing that you want to spend wood on. Now that you're at 15 farms, you actually don't need any farms for now. There we go. So looking good. And then yeah, just once you have 150 wood, then you just get a blacksmith just as part of the wall. Yeah, exactly, it could be there. The only thing with there is that you probably want to go out there and make a TC here eventually, but it's still fine. And you want to check for holes too.
We have to secure this second goal, right?
Yeah, TC to secure the second gold and the wood. It's actually a really good spot. And you'll be able to go up pretty much after this next vill. Like after this vill that's being completed, you'll be able to go up. So, which is really nice. And yeah, so you'll be able to click up here in a sec, although your bills are kind of getting stuck on gold a little bit. There we go.
Yeah.
And you can force drop the gold as well. If you almost have enough, there we go. Yeah. So when you're force dropping, you want to right click the mining camp and then you want to shift queue back to the gold really quickly so that they drop and then go back to the resource. Okay. Yeah, it's just a small thing. Same on the lumber. So actually here, let's talk about what we're doing here. So basically, like, we want to be pretty much full walled. If the opponent goes knights, we want to just have some kind of security against that so that we can wall behind or have some advanced warning. If the opponent goes crossbow, and also it's just really nice to know where he's going to attack before he gets to your wood line or something like that. The goal here is to go up and just make, as Mongols, you can go step lancers, but like knights as well. So 2 stable knights, this is going to be standard play. One thing is that your front walls have like 3 holes in them, by the way. So it's really hard to wall on the tops of the hills, but there's a hole next to the stable and the left side house, and then there's a hole, I think, blacksmith and the house that's beside it, and then there's a hole next to the blacksmith and the wood line. So it's like you want to be checking that with little palisade walls. If you select a villager and then load up a palisade wall and then just kind of see if there's any building locations in between any of the buildings, and you'll find holes like that. That's something that you can do on the way to Castle Age, because on the way to Castle Age, you don't really want to throw your units. Like, you don't really want to waste your units because you're going to be upgrading them potentially in the next game, in the next age, especially as Mongols, their light cav have extra HP, so it's kind of nice to upgrade your scouts if you still have them left over. So there's a bit of downtime where
blacksmith update or
yeah. So if we're going to be playing if we're going to be playing knights in the next game, in the next age, or step lancers, what we want to do is we want to get 1/1 upgrades usually, so blacksmith forging and blacksmith armor, and then also bloodlines as well from the stable. Those are the upgrades that I'd say that you kind of want to have before reaching the next age. Another thing that you can do probably instantly after clicking Castle Age is get your next ecotech. So the other ecotech that you can get is gold mining, and gold mining upgrade is really strong here. Because, yeah, basically if you have 10 villagers on gold, it's like having 1.5 extra villagers. It's quite nice. And you're not really using your resources on the way up anyways for anything that matters, other than, well, if you get the gold mining upgrade earlier, then it can work for longer, and then you just have more gold coming in, which is really nice. So for this kind of play, we really want to get to like 9 or 10 on gold. So we have some berry villagers that they're going to finish the berries soon. I would probably put 2 of those villagers that are on berries just to gold. 9 is going to be fine here. And yeah, so what we need to do on the way up is get another stable, make sure that we have our walls coming up, or at least like finish them quickly if they're not done yet, and check the eco balance. So 15 farms and 9 to 10 on gold is going to be perfect. You can go 15 to 17 farms. So we have 3 villagers on berries still, so 2 can go to gold, and then 1 can build another farm. And that's going to just give you the perfect eco balance for making knights in the next age. And yeah, we're just going to go 2 stable knights here. And that's going to just be really strong. We're not going to worry about TCs yet. Just because, well, let's get to like 1200 elo before we worry about going 3 TC boom. 3 TC boom is going to be the standard play after this, but you're just going to be able to win. You're going to be able to get to 1200 really quickly by just doing this. And then once you're there, then we have to work on the other skills. But we want to make sure that this scouts into knights play is really solid first, because it's just like really fundamental. So yeah, you can unpause when you're ready, and yeah, we can just play up to kind of early castle age. Once we have like 10 or 15 knights or something, we can go play some ranked.
Okay. Is it better to start making one more stable now or after?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So you're not going to be using the stable until you're up, unless you're making some scouts on the way up. So if your opponent has a bunch of units that you really need more units for, say that your opponent is just going to be going for monks or siege or maybe even crossbowmen. As Mongols, like, you have that HP bonus, so you could build up a bit of an army of light cav and then add in some knights or step lancers. And then take a fight against the crossbowman. That could be a good play. So if you really need army earlier, then yeah, you can get the stable. But generally, you're going to be waiting until your castle age to use the second stable. So as long as the second stable is up before you reach castle age, then it's good timing. So you don't need to get it right away. But you can use it as part of your wall in the top, maybe. Something like that. You do like to be walled here.
Okay.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, so we have all this time on the way to castle age to do all of this different things. So remember, eco balance is the most important thing. And then we want to have upgrades coming in and second stable. And yeah, you can make more houses along your wall as well.
Okay. Then let's go.
Let's go. Yeah. And you can get gold mining upgrade like right away, just because it's an eco tech, so you want to have the eco coming in quickly. There we go. Beautiful. And again, when you are force dropping the berries, you can right click the mill and then shift Q to the gold, and then they'll drop and then they'll go to the gold right afterwards. It's really useful. Yeah. And another thing, oh, there are 2 on berries. Yeah, you can actually shift Q farms for them as well. So you can like just hold shift and then place farms, and they'll just go to the farms after. Yeah, exactly. Obviously, the opponent could snipe those farms, so you know it's not always a good thing to do with farms, but it's great to do with like other buildings and stuff too. Yeah. So we can get the stable started, just the second stable.
Okay.
And Walling Villager, he can build a house. Like, there's a perfect spot for just a little house there, so I'd probably just throw a house down. Nice. Oh, yeah, with that guy. And you can get bloodlines. So that's one thing that we like to have bloodlines before reaching castle age, because we want to be using the stable for knights. So we're just a little bit late on that, but it's fine. Just slightly. And let's queue a villager behind castle age, just so that we don't forget. There we go. Perfect. So here's where we can just be spamming knights. So it's like all we have to worry about here is just making knights. We want to make knights in both stables. And you're using select all stables, right? Select all.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And we can get wheelbarrow as well. We can just get it queued behind. Like, it is good to have wheelbarrow. And what we forgot was the least important thing is what we forgot. Here, let's just make a quick little pause. So we didn't get any blacksmith upgrades there. Those are, it is nice to have, but the thing is as long as you don't take a fight, it doesn't matter. So as long as you have your blacksmith upgrades before you take a fight, then it's whatever. Just as long as you don't take a fight before they come in. So if you're going to forget something, then blacksmith upgrades are the best thing to forget, because they're not important as long as you remember before you take a fight.
Yeah, most of the time I forget to get the blacksmith updates.
Yeah. But with some more experience, yeah, it'll be easy for you. So one thing is that our wood line is getting chopped out quite a bit, so you could make another lumber camp up there. Because if you think about it, what are we spending our wood on here? Like the only thing,
Farm?
the only things are basically farms and houses at this point.
Yeah.
So I mean, we can do forward siege and stuff like that, but we're gonna work on that later. Like once you get to like 1200, 1300, then we'll work on forward siege. This basic strategy will just win games. Like it will get you there pretty quickly, if you can execute it at around this level in an actual game. So basically, replenishing the lumber camp could be a good use of the wood. We could get bow saw as well. Chopping 20% faster on all of the villagers. It's like having an extra villager here, slightly more than an extra villager, which is quite nice. And yeah, it's really just spamming knights.
Better use resources at this time, early castle for the economic updates, or it's better get them later.
Yeah, so the earlier you get economic upgrades, the more, like, the better your economy is going to be. But of course, it's at a cost. So you have to determine if that cost is going to be worth it. Right now, we want to be making as many knights as possible. So until we run out of gold. So we need 14 on gold to actually maintain 2 stable knight production. So, well, since we have gold mining, it's actually only 12 on gold. But if we only have 10 on gold, that means that we will eventually run out of gold because we don't have as much income as we need to maintain production. So basically, what I say is you want to make knights until you run out of gold, and then you can work on the economy after that. So the idea is that you make as many knights as you can, and you attack with those, and then you expand your economy after that. I mean, at high level, we're doing things at the same time, but that's kind of how you want to think about it right now, is just keep making military. Once you run out of gold, then you can get your eco-techs and focus on that while you're attacking with your units. Something like that. If you can get bowsaw here, it's probably good. Just the wood upgrades are extremely strong. So, yeah, I would get bloodlines here. Because, well, you're floating quite a bit of food anyways. Like, there's a lot of food in the bank, so you don't really... If it's just sitting in the bank, it might as well be spent on an ecotech. Because that's just going to give you more resources later. So, but the farm upgrade is a low priority. Farm upgrade is not that important. Wheelbarrow is good here, because once you have 15 farms, it's actually just worth it to get wheelbarrow. Over making 3 villagers, because wheelbarrow takes 75 seconds to build, so 3 villagers is also 75 seconds. So it's always a thought between, or it's a comparison between 3 villagers versus getting wheelbarrow, and wheelbarrow mostly affects farmers. So yeah, once you're at 15 or more farms as a standard civ, wheelbarrow is a good timing, and we're on 17, so it's just good to get wheelbarrow. Yeah, so let's just play the rest of this castle age by just making knights, keeping the TC running, making knights, not getting housed until we run out of gold. And let's just see how many knights we can make.
Okay.
So yeah, you can unpause when you're ready. And we want to set the rally point kind of in front of the base. And you'll see where all of the holes are in your wall as well. So it would have been good to fix those at some point. But like, there's one hole here. One hole, like, I think, yeah, here, and then
2 holes.
Yeah, there's 3 holes actually by the blacksmith as well, in the top.
In the top.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's keep both the stables running. So, and yeah, there we go. You can just set the rally point of both of the stables, just like to the front, just in front. It's a good place to have it. And you could throw bowsaw into the mix. It's nice to just get the wood upgrade. If you can afford it. It's like the resources are just sitting in the lumber camp, or sitting in your bank. And, yeah, so we can get more knights. Yeah. The key here is just to keep the stables working. So you always want to have your eye on the production queue in the top. So you can always see if your knight's about to be built, then you want to select the stable and just make more. And yeah, we could just keep making houses up here too. There we go. And of course, keeping the TC running. There we go. Not so bad. Okay. And, oh yeah, blacksmith techs. That's, again, so we can just get both 1-1. You can get them queued both at the same time as well. You have the resources for it. There we go.
Yeah.
And I think there's a hole. Yeah, there's a hole between this house and the one that she's making as well. So you want to be careful about that.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. There. Nice. Oh, yeah, and another thing I forgot to mention is we have our rally point set to gold. So if you notice that you have your rally point set to gold like this, I would just select the villagers, select like 7 villas like this, and then get them to go to wood like this. Yeah, and you have auto reseed on right now, so yeah, I'd just make another wood line like that. And that's just going to give you a better economy. Like, if you have too many villas on the gold, you're not really going to be able to have good efficiency because they're just going to bump into each other, and it's just too many. So, anyways, like, look at how much you could do a lot with this knight army, and look, you're just spamming knights. Even a high-level player is going to be struggling against this. So here, let's quit out, because that's pretty much what we wanted to learn. We're going to quit out, and just real quick, I'm going to load up the replay of that, and we're just going to watch it with capture age, and that will tell us if we were idling the TC or whatever. So I'm just gonna share it on. I'm gonna share my screen on Discord. So here we go. Then you have it like perfectly live.
I can see the live stream too.
Yeah. On Twitch, there's just gonna be like a 2-second delay or something, or 1 second. Okay. So yeah, if I think my computer should be fine to share it on Discord as well. Okay. So here we go. Let's see how it goes here. We are going to want the idle TC. There we go. I think it was pretty good, actually. So, basically, going into the castle age, at some point you will want to add TCs. You want to have it in your head where you're going to place those TCs. So, the first TC, definitely this is a really nice TC over by the wood and the gold. But generally, the first TC should be on wood, and the second TC should be on gold. So, you have 3 TCs total. If you can do both at the same time, that's great. But if you can't, you go like 1 on wood and then 1 on gold. Because you need the wood to make farms, and you need farms to make villagers. So wood is actually the more important resource a lot of the time. Of course, if your strategy involves just having more gold, like you're just spamming units, then sometimes the gold can be better. But generally, getting a second TC on wood is going to be standard. But yeah, everything depends a little bit here. So we're down 1 villager from idle TC. Not the biggest deal at 1k elo, but definitely we can fix that. Oh yeah, like 38 seconds. So that's on the way to feudal age though. So less than a minute, or sorry, on the way to castle age. So less than a minute on the way to castle age. That's really good actually. So yeah, we want to play pretty much like that. Worker efficiency seems to be fine. And let's just see going into the next stage. So in capture age, we can also see the amount of time that you use the stables. So once it reaches 100% here, we want to keep this number at 100% because that means constant production. So there are a few times where the stable wasn't quite working perfectly, but it's pretty close to 100%. There we go, 100%. And from here, so even a high-level player isn't going to be able to have more knights than you. If they're 2 stables, it doesn't even matter what player they are. If you keep the stables running, you will always have at least as many or more than your opponent if their macro is worse. So only 45 seconds idle TC. So let's try and take this to ladder and see if we can see how it feels against equivalent opponents.